All right, well, here's what's happening in US politics today. It's Monday, October 27th. So it's the 27th day of the shutdown, and things are just kind of a mess. The Senate's finally back in session, but they still haven't made a deal. So if they don't figure it out this week, it's officially the longest shutdown in US history. So that's fun. Meanwhile, the president's over in Japan kicking off an Asia trip with a big ceremony, handshakes, and smiles, meeting Japan's new prime minister. They're talking trade, security, and a little bit of how do we not let China run the show? Speaking of tensions, the US just ramped up its military presence near Venezuela. A whole carrier group got moved closer to the regions, and lawmakers in the US are like, what's the plan here? Venezuela's government is pissed, obviously, calling it an act of aggression. Then back home, the Department of Justice announced it's sending federal election monitors to counties in California and New Jersey ahead of next week's voting. They say it's routine, but state Democrats are like, sure, 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 sure. So we'll see where that goes. And because apparently the week needed just one more headline, the White House East Wing demolition is still causing chaos. The crews already started tearing down part of it to build a new presidential ballroom. But preservation groups are furious because it wasn't fully approved. So between the shutdown, the overseas trip, the military buildup, election monitors, and a ballroom that literally nobody asked for, just another Monday in American politics.
Trump was just asked on Air Force One about running for a third term. Listen to what he says.
Be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the board to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know, but I have the best poll numbers I've ever had.
Well, Mr. President, you don't have to think about it. The 22nd Amendment already did, and you can't run for a third term. And no, Mr. President, your approval ratings are actually in the toilet.
What do President Donald Trump and the Japanese emperor talk about behind closed doors? Reportedly, Shohei Ohtani, world conflicts, and musical instruments. The last time Trump visited Japan in 2019, he gifted the emperor a viola. And during their second official meeting on Monday, he told the president that it produced, quote, a very fine sound, and he likes it, quote, very much. Now, this is according to local media, and the meeting took place entirely out of public view. The imperial family is famously private. They do that to protect their image. Every image and appearance is carefully curated by the Imperial Household Agency, which tightly controls what the public gets to see and hear about the royal family. They're the world's oldest royal lineage and one of the most reserved. They only joined Instagram in 2024, part of an effort to, quote, better handle information disclosure and combat online misinformation. It was a move that came 15 years after Britain's royal family went on social media.
Take a look at this video. Donald Trump on Air Force One on his way to Tokyo just lets it slip out that he just underwent an MRI during his routine physical at Walter Reed. Remember the one a couple weeks back? They said he just went in for a routine physical. And today he lets it slip out that he had an MRI, and then he said it went very well. The doctor said, of course, that it was the best. But take a look at this.
I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing, and it was perfect. Yeah.
Did you say what in particular?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively. I wouldn't run. I'd do something, but the doctor said some of the best treatments for the age.
Who gets an MRI at a routine physical? And don't just say, well, the president. No, they don't just do MRIs. That's when you're looking for stuff like hidden things, tumors and such. More to come?
So Trump is currently in Japan as part of this Asia trip. And while aboard Air Force One, he chose to have a small presser. One of the most important takeaways is that Trump is actually serious about running for a third term. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Let's get there. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share. And do me a favor, help me to help you stop the stupidity. So, all right, let me now show you what he said. Because over the weekend, Steve Bannon said that there's actually a plan for Trump to run for a third term And that's what they asked Trump about. Play the clip.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the board to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know, but I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia, Ukraine will happen. But we just did, we just left, and when you look at the treaty we just did, that was a war that was thousands of people were already shot at the border. And when you look at what we just did, was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. We got a lot of good credit, and I really have to thank Malaysia for that, because they really, the Prime Minister and everybody really helped get the 2 countries together. But it was quite a great peace treaty. But that was one of 8, and makes me feel good. I mean, it's millions of people that we saved. I saved the lives of millions of people. That's what's important. Yeah.
Yeah, save the lives of millions of people, but he's not ruling out. He is not ruling out a potential third term. He loves being president. Not about all the bullshit, not about policies, he loves the ability to call up and say, do me, fuel up Air Force One. I want to go play golf. I want to go to Asia. I want to go to Russia. I want to go to anywhere. Right? I want to go to London. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to France. I have something to do. And what do? They shut down the skies. They clear the roadways. He gets picked up by not 1, not 2, not 10, 20 vehicles. All these vehicles, including fire trucks, police escorts, they take him straight to the plane. The plane automatically takes off. There's no waiting. They could fly at 1,000 miles an hour if the plane was capable, because the entire airspace is cleared just for him. And when he lands, if it's in America, again, every road is shut down until he gets to his destination. While overseas, somewhere, they do the same thing. They roll out the red carpet.
People in the United States freak out about the East Wing being demolished and the government shutdown. Will that ever end? President Trump is in Asia, so here's everything you need to know about why he's in Asia. His trip is starting in Malaysia. Here's him doing his famous dance with a bunch of Malaysians. In Malaysia, he signed a trade deal with Cambodia and Thailand. That is a war that almost broke out at the beginning of this year that he stopped from breaking out. Then Trump headed to Japan, where they lit up a bunch of their iconic buildings with our colors. He met with the new Prime Minister of Japan, Sanai Takaichi, and he met with the Emperor of Japan. This is all going to culminate when Trump now heads to Busan, South Korea for the annual APEC summit. Trump will meet with all of our partners and some of our adversaries like Xi Jinping, potentially, in South Korea. Trump may even meet with Kim Jong-un in the DMZ. Trump keeps saying he might do that. I don't think that's on the schedule yet, but we could see that. Trump and President Xi are set to meet on October 30th following a contentious few weeks, honestly months of trade negotiations. This meeting may end up not happening. However, signs are looking kind of likely right now. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just got done with negotiations with his Chinese counterparts over the trade deal. And Secretary Bessent has been signaling that he thinks a deal will get done pretty soon, and so the tariffs that President Trump threatened of 100% will not go live on November 1st. And China is saying that they will walk back their export controls that they were going to try and put on rare earth minerals, which are necessary components that go into semiconductors. People are saying that this means that China clearly surrendered, their economy is not in a good place, Trump was willing to pull out more cards. Others are saying that the Trump administration likely capitulated, maybe even on the question of Taiwan and whether or not China is able to take control of Taiwan either via force or coercion. U.S. negotiators like Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent are saying that the deal is great for America. We haven't seen the Chinese say a lot about the deal. Should the deal go through, this is good news for American farmers, particularly soybean farmers. This is also good news for anybody who likes to buy cheap stuff on Amazon, because that stuff is still going to keep coming into the country. I don't know, I'm skeptical of this, honestly. I think if these negotiations actually did go well, I'm really scared of what we promised the Chinese negotiators behind the scenes. And if these did not go well, the Chinese will either back out again, or, I don't know, the last time we finalized a trade negotiation deal in Trump's first term with the Chinese, a mysterious virus leaked out of a lab in Wuhan a few weeks later and shut the economy down for 2 years. Call me skeptical here, okay? This is a much bigger story than the ballroom that is replacing the East Wing, or honestly, even the government shutdown.
Breaking news, just so you know, Donald Trump is not ruling out the 2028 bid. Challenges by AOC and Crockett. The test that Donald Trump, speaking on Air Force One en route to Japan today, expresses his third presidential term despite the 22nd Amendment, 2 terms dismissed, and vice presidential workarounds unpeeling his challenges to the Democratic representatives, AOC and Jasmine Crockett, 2 Montreal assessments claiming his perfect score, proving superior intellect. Here's the thing, people. People don't want Donald Trump to run for a 3rd term, which he has a workaround with this. Donald Trump's achievements, while his approval ratings are skyrocketed. Why would you want somebody else? Put it this way, J.D. Vance, okay. You can put Erica Kirk in there too, because they're saying that they are trying to manipulate the system. Then you got Trump's kid that could run after Erica Kirk. So we got J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk, and Trump's kid. If you guys love this news, smash the heart, leave a comment, drop a follow, FYP, share and repost. And Trump's other son could run as well in 2028. This might be good. Who else would you like to see run for president in 2028? Leave a comment right there. Share and repost. Like that. It gets it all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Stay blessed. More news coming.
So naturally, the question is, why would you get the MRI? Like, we're not stupid. We know that people don't get MRIs on routine doctor visits. In any event, Donald Trump then talks about taking a cognitive exam at the last doctor visit. And he says, you know, the first questions were easy, but it gets harder than that. You have to identify a tiger, an elephant, and a giraffe. He says, I don't think AOC would be able to take this exam. Why does this guy keep on taking cognitive exams and getting MRIs, right? It's pretty obvious before our eyes what's taking place here. And play this clip.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test. Have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard. They're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Then he brags about interfering with the election in Argentina. Let's play this clip.
Results from the Argentina election look like the United Party.
Wow, what a great question that is. I love that question because that was a big win in Argentina. I want to congratulate the victor, and he was a big victor, and he had a lot of help from...
He's asked if he's been watching the World Series at all, which he claims he saw the ad that Ontario took out in the World Series using Reagan's words to show that Reagan was not a fan of tariffs, to say the least. And Donald Trump goes, I have not been watching it too much because of Pete Rose? What? Here, play this.